Hello and welcome back to Agvancements, the Minecraft series in which we go through the revolutions of agriculture and hopefully learn a thing or two along the way. Alright, so today's episode we are focusing on finishing up in the first revolution of agriculture. And as you'll notice, I have a sharp leaf in my inventory now, which is part of the sustainability mod, and I got it kind of by accident. I was heading back to the base, and I ran into a... Ooh, our crops look really good, by the way. I ran into this trash monster thingy that attacked me, and I killed it, and it dropped one of these things. Now, I did get an advancement for that, which you can see right here. Ignore the screenshot, that was an accident. But I got the advancement does not die easily, which you get by killing a bad grass. Apparently that is caused by using bone meal, so I must have used bone meal on something at some point that I'm forgetting about and caused the bad grass to spawn. But I killed it, and I got this sharp leaf, which can be used to make all kinds of cool things, as you can see here. Hello? Sharp. Hello? Sharp leaf. Here we go. I swear this thing hates me sometimes. Uses. I was pressing the wrong button the whole time. So we can make a pickaxe with it. We can make a hook, which is pretty cool. We can make all kinds of tools and stuff with it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for yet. I might save it and try to get some more so I can make this hook, because I think that'd be really cool to have. But that's all stuff that we're going to worry about in the future. For right now, let's get our shirt back on and let's start getting to work for today. So the goal for today is to build up our house. In the last episode, we went ahead and found a good place to settle down for our first settlement, and we decided to start setting up shop in kind of a nice little valley area that's out by the mountains. It's a few hundred blocks from here, so I'll take you guys over there in just a minute. But for those of you who saw the last episode, you know where we're going. Today's goal is to try to get all of our materials together to start building our first house. And whether or not we build this today, we'll kind of see how the day goes. What I'll probably end up doing is, while I'm gathering all the resources, I'll skip through some of my gathering process, and I'll record that. You guys can go watch that. And if you're watching this, you might have already watched that. So if you did, very cool. But in today's episode, we want to address a few different things. I gotta get rid of all my weeds first so that my crops actually grow today. But I have a few different things I wanted to address for this series going forward that I probably should have addressed a lot sooner, but kind of didn't because I didn't think about it. But I'm doing it now, so here we are. The first thing is, I did not even think about it, but I have been using a furnace this entire time. And furnaces were invented during the second revolution of agriculture, the more mechanized, commercialized agricultural revolution. And so we wouldn't have that yet in the first revolution. I'm justifying it by saying that you can't really do... Oh man, my crop died. You can't really do much of anything in Minecraft without having a furnace, and so I kind of had to have one just for the sake of being able to progress in this game. But typically, historically speaking, we should not have that yet. So I'm not going to get rid of mine. I'm still going to keep it, but we're just going to try to use it as minimally as possible until we're able to get access to until we enter the second revolution of agriculture and we're able to get access to the technology that will allow us to actually have a legitimate furnace. And so that was the first thing. The second thing is, there are a few requirements of the second revolution of agriculture. And to be able to get to those requirements, we have to complete the first revolution of agriculture, which has its own set of requirements. And those requirements are things that I think that we should be working towards over the next couple episodes to try to be able to transition effectively into the second revolution of agriculture. So these things include some things that we've already done so far, but you have like the domestication of wild crops, which we've kind of already done. We gathered most of these crops from wild areas and planted them ourselves, making them domesticated, but we're going to try to do it on a larger scale at our new home. So we have domestication of wild crops, we have domestication of wild animals, and while we did technically ride that llama, I'm not going to count that as domestication of wild animals because we haven't actually herded any animals into a fencing, or we don't have any kind of ranch or anything going on. So today's goal is going to be to help with that a little bit. Development of the simple civilization. That's actually our other primary goal today, to actually develop and establish our first home in our new area. Besides that little box that I made, we're going to make some actual settlement today. So that is one of the big things. Using agricultural tools, basic agricultural tools like the rake. That's another goal. We've kind of already done that, but we're going to do a couple other things in that area. And then in the first revolution of agriculture, there were a lot more small farms. So we're going to create a few different farms, but they're all going to be smaller farms instead of just one big farm, which we're going to get to later in the later revolutions. But the second revolution consists of a lot more mechanization and use of different, more advanced agricultural methods and practices. So we're not going to worry about any of that for a while. Right now, we're going to work towards entering the second revolution, which we're going to be in for quite some time. So don't you worry too much about us not spending very much time in each revolution. We're going to be in the next one for quite a while. So today's goal is to relocate our home into our new base area. I've got the coordinates written down, so we're going to head back towards that area. I'm thinking we'll probably just take all of our crops with us whenever we go, and we'll try to set up shop there. I don't see a reason to really leave anything at this base. I think it's time that we retired from this area and moved into our new home. I know the pirate ship is nice and it's cool and everything, but I don't really see us using it for anything else, so we're going to head back over to that area and relocate. And in the time in doing that, we're going to be gathering resources to be able to build our new settlements, but I don't want you guys to have to sit through watching all of that, so I'm not going to make you. I'm going to record all that separately, and if you would like to watch it, you're more than welcome to, but we're just going to snap into already having all the materials, and then we can start actually working on the build. So, yeah, it's kind of a long trek, so I'm not going to make you guys watch me walk all the way back to our new base. I'm just going to start gathering up all of our crops here, and then we'll go over there together. Sound good? So let's just grab all of our crops. In modern agriculture, if you're moving your farm, you don't typically take your crops with you. I mean, you kind of, like, the crops just kind of, stay in the ground. You don't just pick up your seeds and leave. So this isn't exactly something that we're going to be, like, doing entirely accurately. But you know what? It's fine. Let's grab our composter and our stuff, and we'll get out of here. The problem is, though, this is kind of a full double chest. I'm not sure we're going to be able to move all this in one trip. Oh, well. I'll deal with that off screen. But yeah, I'll see you guys when we get to our new home. Okay, so this is one of those things I was talking about, that angry grass. Huh, that one didn't drop a sharp leaf. Interesting. So yeah, so those are part of the sustainability mod, and they're supposed to be like the embodiment of pollution or something like that. So if you're not taking care of the earth, that's what comes out of it. I am being shot at right now. But yeah, so that's the thing that attacked me that I got the sharp leaf from. So, okay then. Well, continuing on our journey. Hello, bear. Is our snacky boy still alive? He is! Look at him, he's just chilling in there. I'm gonna have to come back and get him out one of these days. But that day is not today. Okay, so we've made it to our little rest stop area, and so I think that this is a good spot to take a quick break and kind of just gather ourselves. We don't have enough resources to make a bed, unfortunately. But that's okay. What we can do is we can cook up some mutton so we can eat. What can we use acorns for? Oh, we can use them to cook milk. That's interesting. And nut butter. Okay, then. Well, let's just throw those in there. That'll be good for right now. Okay. I don't see daylight passing anytime soon, so I'm just gonna skip to when we get there. There she is. All right. I don't have a... I thought I had a bed here. That's frustrating. Well, we made it to the new home. However, I was under the impression that I had a bed here, or at least a chest, and I did not have either. So we will be returning back to our base and grabbing the rest of our stuff and then moving everything over here shortly. So yeah, see you guys in just a minute. We've made it back to our base, so now we can grab the remainder of our stuff. Except that we can't, because of course we can't. Okay, what do I leave behind? Oh, those were gray? Really? I don't need spider eyes. Is there anything there that I want? I kind of want the fence posts, I'm not gonna lie. I can get more wheat seeds pretty easy. Actually, I had the mutant wheat seeds. Yeah, let's just get rid of them. Carrot seeds, tomato seeds, potato seeds. Okay, I think that that's all good. The only other thing I want to take is my bed, but can I just eat rice? I can't just eat rice. That's kind of lame. You should be able to just eat rice. I don't know why I only have one dirt block, but it's staying here. There we go. Okay, now we make the long journey back to where we just came from. I'll see you guys there. Okay, so we made it back to our commuter shed. I'm cooking up some food at the moment, and we're trying to not use the furnace, so that's why I'm cooking it up here. But yeah, so we're taking another breather here. We do have our bed now, so let's go ahead and sleep the night away. Okay. Oh, it's because there's a gap in our roof. That's why. Okay. Let's keep cooking our food here. And then we need to get back to our new home so we can transfer all the rest of this stuff over. So I will see you guys whenever we do that. There she is, and look at that, a beautiful sight, a skeleton dying. Right on my doorstep. It's like a delivery. Thank you, skeleton. Okay, so let's go ahead and plop these right down here, and we'll just throw the rest of this in the chest real quick. And then as far as my bed goes, we'll put that like right at her. And this is a really, really cramped small house, so we're not going to settle for this by any means. This is just to get everything down. So our goal for today is to take this area and to turn it into a very, we'll deal with you later, and to turn it into a very livable little area. We're trying to turn this into the first civilization to check that box off of our requirements for the first revolution of agriculture to be accomplished. And so once we get to get all of our resources together, then we can start building. And so that's the goal for today. Also, as part of today's goal is to complete 3 advancements, just like always. And I already have the 3 picked out. The one we got earlier by accident, I'm going to go ahead and say it doesn't count. So we still have to get 3 more. And those 3 are going to help us accomplish our revolution goals as well. So we're going to go ahead and work on those as we're collecting resources. I'm going to go gather up all the wood and all the things that we're going to need to build these. We're not going to build these kinds of houses. This was kind of just like a last minute thing I did to survive. We're going to build small little homes with, more emeralds. I'll have to get those later. Well, we're going to build small little homes. They look a little bit different than this one, but a little bit more livable. You know, they're not going to be all cramped like this. And then we're going to, from there, create some small farms and hopefully domesticate some animals today. Those are the primary goals of today's episode. But besides that, I think that that's all we have today. So I will see you guys after I finish collecting all the resources. So see you in a minute. And we're back. And I did quite a bit of work. If you watched the 0.5 episode, then you know how much I did. Hey, the bear's still there, and some of the trees have grown back already. Nice. But I went ahead and did a little bit more work off camera in between the 0.5 episode and now. I didn't really go out and do anything else. I kind of just organized the chests, but you can see here we have all of our materials ready to start building the houses, and we have all of our food and crops and stuff organized as well. So it's a little bit more organized now, so that we were actually able to get stuff done and do what we need to. But yeah, I think that we are in a good position now to actually start building the houses. We may not build all of them today. I think that I kind of bit off a little bit more than I can chew with this episode. And so what we're going to do instead is build as much as we can, but we still need to go do a lesson and go do our 3 advancements for this episode. So let's do that real quick, and then when we come back, we'll build maybe one of the houses, and we'll build the rest of them in the next episode. So yeah, so let's do that first. For our first advancement, this is something that I think this is something that we have needed to do for a little while now. If I remember how to do it, I think it's like this. Bing, 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 boom. There we go. Campfire. Okay. So the reason that I'm doing this is because I want to create a stove. And the way you create a stove is like this. Now, I don't know if there's actually an advancement for the stove. I'm kind of assuming there is. But this... Boom. Stove. This will allow us to cook foods that we otherwise wouldn't be able to cook without using the furnace, and we're trying to minimize using the furnace as much as possible. So we throw like some raw chicken on here, for example, we can start cooking it. So that's not an advancement. I kind of wasn't sure if it was or not. That's just something that I wanted to do for the sake of wanting to do it. But we can create a skillet. I don't know how to do that, but let's see if we can figure it out real quick. Okay, that's actually pretty easy to make. So let's make a skillet. Oh, I don't have any more bricks. We're not gonna make a skillet right now. I'll worry about that later. Let's do the other advancements I actually did have planned. So one of those is actually, I don't have any planks. That's fine, let's just do this. One of those is actually an advancement that also allows us, it's also a Farmer's Delight advancement that allows us to get access to different types of foods, and that is the cutting board. So if we throw this cooked chicken on here, for example, and use a knife, we can. Can we not do that with cooked chicken? Hold on. We can do it with fish. Boom. There we go. Watch your fingers. So now we have raw cod slices and some bone meal. And we have... Oh, it didn't give us a thing. That's kind of lame. Okay. Also, we're going to ignore that happened. Don't worry about that. But we did get an advancement. If we go to the advancement table, we can see Watch Your Fingers is now unlocked, which is sweet. We have some of these other ones we can start working on now. This is going to take a little bit. We'll mess with that later. But yeah, so that is an advancement that we now have done. So that is one we can knock off of our board. And then we have two more that we are going to try to accomplish today. One of those I was hoping to have done by having our actual farms developed, but I don't think we're going to get to do that in this episode. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to do a variation of that. And I know I'm talking in a bit of nonsense right now, but we actually need to create another. I need one more. We need to create another bonfire real quick. So let's do that. Yeah. So in the episode that you may or may not have watched, the resource gathering episode, we went ahead and did a lot of things. We went ahead and gathered a ton of wood, as you saw. We went and gathered some more iron. We went and got some more, just various resources. Got some sand, made some glass, went and got some clay and made some bricks. All of that for the purposes of building more things that we can make into our houses. And so I wanted to build those 5 houses. I think it's this way. Perfect. Ooh, there's some iron. Let's grab that while we're here. I'm starting to get really tired. So yeah, so these 5 houses are going to be roughly similar in design. They're going to be somewhat based off of old wooden cabins, just because that's what I typically think of when I think of old like farmhouses and stuff. So we're going to build one out of oak wood, which I know is kind of basic. I was kind of hoping to get some different types of wood, but it's hard to do that. So I'm not going to worry about it right now, but there you are. This is the next advancement we're going to go for. Let's grab that carrot real quick. So let's do this. There we go. And so now we can... Are there any bees nearby? No? Okay. There we go. Be our guest. So that is... Oh, that's cool. It has stats on there about the honey. Okay. So we got a honey bottle. So that is one of the other advancements we're trying to get. Be our guest. Collect... Hello, dude. Onion, birch. Huh. Ooh, I can get a saddle from you. Ooh, if I had more emeralds, dude, I would consider it. But anyways, so yeah, so we got Be Our Guest, which is use a campfire to collect honey from a beehive using a bottle without aggravating the bees. That's a fairly easy one. I was hoping to do it when we actually got bees over in our farm, but I don't know how long it's going to be for us to be able to do that, so I'm not going to worry about doing that right now, but we will get bees later on. So I believe that's a husbandry thing, right? Where is that one? Yeah, there it is. Be Our Guest. Wax on, scrape wax off a copper block. Okay, so yeah, we'll do all the bee ones later. But that was the second one I wanted to get. And the third one is one that we can actually do pretty easily if we just go to a nearby body of water. I know I'm kind of rushing all these advancements, but I'm doing this just for the sake of getting this episode done pretty quickly, because I know that we've been doing this for a little while now. So let's get over here. I don't see one yet. But you guys can probably already get an idea. Oh, there's another beehive. Maybe we can go... Oh, I don't have another campfire. You guys can probably already guess what I'm going for with this one. So let's just try to scoop, and there it is, tactical fishing. So tactical fishing is catch a fish without a fishing rod. So we caught a salmon in a bucket. We're gonna keep this guy with us. We'll actually take him back to the settlement and we'll make him a little area that he can live in, because we're going to need to create an infinite water source anyway, so it'll kind of work out if we just have him in a little pond next to us, so we can start making all the farms. So that's all 3 advancements. We kind of speed ran all of those a little bit quickly, but yeah, like I said, we have a lot of advancements to get through, so I want to make sure we're doing as many as possible per episode. That way we can ensure that we are getting a lot of progress made very quickly. So let's do this. There we go. And then I need another, you know what, we're going to steal that water source. We'll put it back, but we just need to grab it real quick. I get this dark. Oh, there's an egg. I kind of want that egg. Yoink. There we go. Out. Yeah. There we go. Okay, and then we do that, and we have an infinite water source, and our salmon can live peacefully. What should we name the salmon? You guys come up with a name for him. I forgot to grab another water source so I can actually replace what I took. There we go. You guys come up with a name for the salmon, and I will get a name tag, and I'll name him whatever you guys come up with. Maybe that salmon can be our first pet. It's kind of like a domesticated animal. I mean, we're not gonna breed or farm them, but it kind of counts. I mean, salmon were a popular animal for a while, I guess. I need to figure out how to cook things. One of the things that I did during the episode where I gather resources was I did a little bit of work with, my brain is not braining. Wait, I have 15 emeralds? Where did I get 15 emeralds from? That's really useful because that means I can actually go back and grab that saddle from that guy. Let's do that actually really quick. I know I'm getting majorly distracted right now, but don't worry about it. Everything's fine. And while we're going over there, I can teach you guys a lesson of this episode, which is that acorns regenerate you really well. That's not the lesson. I'm just getting tired. What was I asking? Something about salmon. Something about... I am blanking so hard right now. I apologize. I don't know what just happened. We're going to go back and try to buy that saddle from that guy because we did see some horses earlier, and I would love to get a horse, especially because that'll definitely help out with our domestication of wild animals as we start to transition into this settlement. But brain, please start working again soon. The lesson for this episode is going to be based on animal behavior. So we're going to talk about that briefly as we get into the forest here. Like for this dog, for example, or wolf, whatever you want to call it. In animal behavioral practices, typically you do not want to approach an animal you do not know rapidly. So like this dog is not aggressive, but it might be, so we would approach it very slowly with our hands open, kind of like we have right now. You wouldn't want to punch near it, but you'd want to approach it very slowly and calmly, and you don't want to look it in the eye. You want to avoid eye contact if possible, and if it runs away from you, you respect that and you move away. Like this chicken, typically if you're like jumping around acting crazy, the chicken's going to run away from you. If you approach it very slowly, there's a higher chance that it'll trust you. Animal behavior is kind of one of those things that I'm pretty passionate about, and so I could go into a whole bunch of depth about it, but I'm not going to do that right now. But I just wanted you guys to know a little bit about how animal behavior works. And also, I want to buy this saddle. What a deal. Advancement made. Look at that. We even got an additional advancement. Should I buy one of these collars? I have no idea what the collars do, but I'm kind of tempted to buy one. Yeah, we'll buy a collar. Why not? I kind of want to tame one of those dogs. There we go. Okay, let's get out of here. Hello, bee. And with bees, there's something that is actually kind of interesting about bees in terms of animal behavior. So many of you may know that actually the reason why this campfire trick works on bees, if you place a campfire below a beehive and then harvest honey from it, the bees won't get mad at you. The reason that works is because in real life, you smoke out bees to calm them down. And the reason you smoke out bees is because over time, bees have been more forest-based animals. And so they've adapted to their environment to have a kind of like a survival instinct against forest fires. So if they smell smoke, then they know that a forest fire is coming, and what they'll do is actually run into the hive. Hello, chicken. They'll run into the hive and they'll eat as much honey as they could possibly handle, and then they will run. They'll try to fly out of the hive as fast as possible because they want to save all that honey and take it to their next hive as they abandon their home. It sounds kind of sad, but what tends to happen is the bees will eat a lot of honey and just get really, really tired because of all the honey they ate. Because it's like when you eat turkey on Thanksgiving and then it just wears you out afterwards. Hello, Robin. And so they would eat all this honey and then they get super tired and they just fall asleep. And so it became over time an evolutionary behavior that the bees would get tired every time they would smell smoke because they would associate it with eating all that honey. So now we're able to smoke out bees because we can just... Hello? That was weird. We're able to smoke out bees because we can just simulate the smell of forest fires and it puts them to sleep because of biology and evolution, which I think is hilarious. So whenever bees smell smoke, they don't think, oh, we're about to die. They think, man, it's time for a nap because I just ate a whole bunch of turkey, which I think is just one of the funniest things. So that's your lesson for today. Some animal behavior tips. Bees respond to smoke by falling asleep, and if you're approaching an animal, don't run up and smack it. Just approach it very slowly and calmly, unless it's a creeper, and in which case do not approach it at all because they suck. Like this bear... This way over here that I was talking about earlier, you'll notice if you watch the 0.5 episode that I did not approach that bear incredibly quickly. I actually approached it very slowly. That is the approach that you want to use. It's like I wouldn't be running up to a bear like this. I would see it and I'd probably approach it very slowly. With a bear is a bad example. Don't approach bears. Don't just walk up to a bear. You walk up very slowly to an animal you don't know. Just make sure it's safe, and then you can kind of move around it. But with a bear, I wouldn't recommend doing that at all. There were some cattle around here. Birds are always hard. You can sneak up on birds, but they're going to fly away from you. Or maybe not. Look at that. Real life animal behavior at work right there. There are some cattle around here somewhere that I was going to do this with, and I cannot find them now. Maybe my sheep will still be there. There's some swamp sheep over here that I was looking at. I wonder if like the trees grew and the cattle didn't want to graze here anymore because the pasture was too small. I don't think that's how that works, but that's how it works in my head. So that's what it is. The sheep are gone too. Why are all the livestock gone? What has happened? Oh, there's some. There's some cattle and some sheep. No, those are just cattle. So same thing. If these cattle are, just grazing, or if they're in a pen, when you walk up, you want to walk up very slowly. You don't want to walk up right behind them. You want to get about right here. That's like, you're just outside of their blind spot. They can see you. You can approach them from the side. And you can pet them, and they'll usually be okay. If they're swinging their tail like that, that's kind of interesting, because in real life, if cattle swing their tails, that means that they are annoyed. Not being aggressive, but that they're annoyed, as opposed to like a dog swinging its tail, which means it's typically happy. With cattle, you don't want to move around too fast with them. You also do not want to look them in the eye, because that's a threat, and they'll attack you at that point. And you don't want to approach them from the side of their face if you can avoid it. You want to approach them from like behind their face, and you can slowly pet on them and let them know that you're there. Hello, you're very friendly. Some will be more friendly than others. Some will not let you near them at all. It kind of depends on the cattle and how much they've been around people. Typically, if cattle have not seen a species before, whether it be human or otherwise, they'll be very hesitant to go near them. And so these guys, if they had never seen people before, probably would not trust them. But as you saw in the 0.5 episode, these guys do trust me because I've been around them a lot lately. These sheep, kind of the same way. You can approach a sheep, although they're a little bit more skittish. They probably aren't going to let you near them to pet on them like a cow will, although this guy's being pretty friendly. But yeah, so I'm going to try to capture some sheep in the next episode. Capture sounds really bad. I'm going to try to lead some sheep into a pen for the next episode to try to make sure that we have some livestock, because that'll be going into our domestication of wild animals goal. So yeah, that is it for our lesson for this episode, and we also got 4 advancements. If you don't count the first advancement that we got at the beginning of the episode by accident, the does not die easily. I actually kind of want to use some bone meal to get that to happen again. That was kind of cool. But we did so much in this episode that this is bothering me. This door is backwards. So we're going to fix that real quick. Okay, that's better. Let's throw this stuff in here. There we go. Throw that in there. We'll go ahead and put the emeralds in here. What I want to do to round out our episode is to grab whatever bones we have. Let's just real quick. Boom. Some wheat seeds. Let's go grab whatever bones we have. Try to see if we can tame there's some more cattle, and then there's our sheep. Let's go see if we can tame a dog so we can put this collar on it, and then we're gonna go try to catch a horse, and then that's gonna end our episode. Oops, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons right now. So that's gonna end out our episode, and then we will pick up the next episode of building all the houses. I did not expect this episode to take that long, but it took a really long time between us having to travel back and forth between the bases, moving all the stuff over, gathering the resources, which ended up being a separate episode by itself. But I did record all that episode tonight, and so I'm getting really worn out from recording. And then we went and did the 3 advancements and the lesson for today. So I think that kind of covered a lot more in this episode than it was meant to. But we'll do all the house building next episode. That way you guys can, all three of us. Again, brain is worn out because tired and lack of brain. But starting the next episode, we will begin construction of the house. Hello, sir. Construction of the houses and the farms and the domestication of animals, and life will be good. We started to kind of expand our own house a little bit, although I'm probably going to tear down our little hut there once we have a better house, because our hut kind of sucks, I'm not going to lie to you. Look at all those chickens. But yeah, so let's see if we can find a dog. There's a dog. Bones. Okay, so same thing we said. We're going to try to approach this dog very slowly and gain its trust. Instantly, look at that. The animal behavior tricks work. It trusts us. So now let's give it this collar. How do I give it the... Hello, how does the collar work? Okay, I'm gonna have to do some research on that. We have a dog now. Does the collar work on chickens? No. How does the collar work? Oh. Huh. Well, that's good to know. Let's get back home so we can sleep and take our new dog with us. And maybe we'll have to save getting a horse for the next episode, because this is taking a bit longer than expected. Is this another dog? Okay, our animal behavior tricks did not work on this one. That's okay. We have our dog. I'm happy with our dog. Hello, snake. I'm very glad that snakes don't bite you in this mod pack. That would be very much not bueno. There's a pig. Bam. Oh, we can put a saddle on you. Can we put a collar on you, though? We can. Oh, that's kind of cool. Huh. Interesting. Okay, well, let's get back to our house, and we'll sleep, and then I think we'll end the episode there. I think I think we made a good amount of progress today. So in the next episode, we'll go ahead and build all the houses. We will go ahead and go get a horse. And that's probably going to take most of the episode, so we'll kind of play it by ear and see if we want to do anything else at that point, but we'll work on some other stuff. So that is all I have for you guys. Name our salmon, name our dog. You'll sit there. I'm going to go inside here. And then we will catch you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a good Hope you had a good time watching. I had a good time recording this, so thank you all so much for tuning in and for having a good time with me. I'm very tired, so I'm going to go to sleep now, but both in-game and in real life. But that was a good episode. I had a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope to catch you all in the next one. And don't forget, if you ate today, thank a farmer. Bye.